Dear students and viewers, I am S.N.Mandal, Department of English, RD and Digital Munger. Today I am going to discuss Shakespearean tragedy. But before I discuss Shakespearean tragedy, I would like to define tragedy. Tragedy has been defined by Aristotle as a play, the action of which is complete, horrible. Anyway, by the phrase horrible action, Aristotle means that the action of a play must be horrific, terrible, and fearful. In other words, we may safely say that in a tragedy there must be some murders or suicides, extreme sufferings, and so on and so forth. Next, in a tragedy, the action should be complete, but the completeness of action, Aristotle means that the play must have a beginning, a middle, and an end. Really, these 3 points must be present in an action or in the story of the play. Next, the action of the play must also arouse pity and tears among the audience. If it doesn't arouse pity and tears among the audience, its function remains incomplete. Now look, a particular English critic named Helen Gardner has also maintained that tragedy is a symbol of death, whereas a comedy is a symbol of life. Anyway, in different ways, different critics have made their statements regarding the definition of tragedy. Generally, a tragedy is a play which is replete with sorrow and sufferings. My dear students, tragedy is chiefly concerned with the very, very important emotion of life, the emotion of sorrow and suffering. And comedy is chiefly concerned with the emotion of happiness. Since these two emotions are very important in our life, so tragedy is a very important genre of literature. And most of us should be very much interested in the study of tragedy. Today I am going to discuss Shakespearean tragedy as I have stated already. Shakespearean tragedy may not be examined or judged by the Greek standard. Aristotle defined tragedy in his own ways, particularly his definition of tragedy is based upon his experiences, his knowledge of Greek tragedy. And so far as Shakespearean tragedy is concerned, it has its own features. It is very shocking to us, particularly for the readers of English language and literature, that Shakespeare, despite being a great tragedian, a great tragic writer, didn't lay down any principle or theory for tragedy. However, for the writing of tragedy, he is one of the greatest figures or personalities in the history of English plays. Of course, he is the greatest playwright of England, at least during the age of Elizabeth. Shakespeare, as I have told you already, wrote a great number of plays. Particularly, a great number of tragedies are among them. Julius Caesar, King Lear, Othello, Hamlet, Macbeth are among the best tragedies of Shakespeare. And our study of Shakespearean tragedy must be based upon such tragedies by him. After going deep in the Shakespearean tragedy, we find some common features. Common features like essential weaknesses of character, particularly in the case of heroes. The heroes carving their own destiny, the use of the supernatural elements, horrible action, eventful plot, the use of blank verse and prose as a medium of expression, discovery of the truth or a spiritual realization by the heroes, and so on and so forth. These are the important features of Shakespearean tragedy? Yes, first of all, we should discuss the difference between Greek tragedy and Shakespearean tragedy. Greek tragedy points out the fact or shows the belief that man suffers because of destiny. In other words, destiny plays a very important role in human life. Man is a puppet at the hands of destiny. This is the concept of the Greek tragedians. But in Shakespearean tragedies, the belief is something else. The concept of life is something else. Shakespeare professes, asserts through his plays, particularly tragedies, that the hero suffers intensely, not because of the rule of destiny, but because the faults, the drawbacks, the shortcomings, the essential weaknesses of his own. Yes, it is so. If we study some important tragedies by Shakespeare, we may easily come to the point. Macbeth suffers in his life because of his vaulting ambition, because of his greed of power. King Lear suffers in his life because of being foolish and angry. Othello suffers in his life because he is highly suspicious. Hamlet suffers in his life because he is very doubtful and indecisive. So, such Shakespearean heroes suffer in their lives because of their own essential weaknesses, because of their own shortcomings. However, in some of the plays, the role of destiny cannot be denied. The role of destiny cannot be ruled out. Destiny, more or less, plays a significant role in the shaping of the human life. And particularly in Macbeth, we find destiny very dominant. Yes, in Shakespearean tragedy, we have some essential weaknesses, some shortcomings in the heroes. And those shortcomings may be ascribed, may be held responsible for their intense suffering, no doubt. Next important aspect of Shakespearean tragedy is that the hero belongs to a high rank, not to a low rank. The hero is either a king or a prince or a general. In Macbeth, Macbeth is a general. In Julius Caesar, Julius Caesar is an emperor. In Hamlet, Hamlet is the prince of Denmark. In King Lear, Lear is himself the king of Britain. So why does Shakespeare choose such a hero as belongs to a high rank? There is a reason behind his choice of such a hero. The reason is that the impact of the deed or action of a hero belonging to a high rank is very deep and strong upon people in general. This is the reason, and no other reason is visible to me. Yes, the lot of the people in general is associated with the lot of a great figure. This is a valuable aspect of sex mentality. Next important aspect of sex mentality is the role of the supernatural. Shakespeare very wisely included the supernatural elements in his tragedies, in most of his tragedies, I think. In Macbeth, King Lear, Hamlet, and so on and so forth. In these plays, we have the obvious interference of the supernatural elements in the life of the hero, in the life of the person. Yes, the thinking, the thought, the perception of Shakespeare is perhaps that human beings cannot live independently upon this earth. This is his concept. This is his idea. Really, we are also spirits living upon the earth, but spirits known as the human beings. Because because physical bodies are tied to the spirits living upon the earth. And in the wake of our death, the spirits are liberated. Here, more or less, I become a spiritual figure, no doubt, because I have gained some such feelings as have not been gained by you. And whenever I teach some such subjects as are concerned with spirits, ghosts, the supernatural, gods, goddesses, etc., I had to stress, I have to insist upon the idea that human life cannot be considered without spirits in the universe. Anyway, human beings, more or less, are controlled by some unseen forces, are controlled by the spirits or the supernatural elements. And the happiness, the suffering, or any kind of tide that occurs in the life of man is more or less associated with the interference of the supernatural. Now, we may consider the significance of the role of the supernatural in some Shakespearean tragedies. In Macbeth, Macbeth suffers. Why? It is a fact that he is overambitious, but his overambition is dormant for some time, and it is awakened by three weird sisters, and it is after the awakening of the holding ambition in Macbeth that King Duncan is murdered, and a good number of murders are also committed by him, by Macbeth, I mean. Yes, the supernatural elements rope Macbeth in the disastrous situation. In Hamlet, Hamlet is also goaded, pricked by the ghost or spirit of his own father. And he pursues the path of blood. In King Lear, we have also an inherent and indirect interference of the supernatural, and it is the sensibility of the readers which may help them to perceive the role of the supernatural in Shakespearean plays. Anyway, Shakespeare seems to have borrowed the supernatural elements from pre-Shakespearean plays that we call the University Wits plays. The University Wits had also incorporated or included in their plays the role of the supernaturals, and so is the case with Shakespeare. Really, by using in, by including the supernaturals as the main characters, as important characters in the play, Shakespeare has brought about a great evolution in the field of tragedy. Perhaps he ardently focused the attention of the readers, of the people of England as well as of the world upon the dominance of the supernatural elements in the life of the human beings. Next important element that we find in the Shakespearean tragedy is the spiritual realization made by the hero. Of course, if we study Shakespearean tragedy, we would find that most of the Shakespearean heroes, I think tragic heroes, suffer intensely in their lives, and through suffering, through intense suffering, they gain wisdom, they gain a spiritual maturity. This is very important in the Shakespearean tragedy. Shakespeare perhaps intends to say that human life in old age must be a spiritually mature, and without a spiritual maturity, the soul cannot be welcomed by God. This is his thinking, this is his philosophy. Macbeth suffers in his life because of his essential weakness, that's holding ambition, and now he is encircled by some vicious circumstances. His wife dies at the time of foreign aggression. Now Macbeth is helpless, hopeless before destiny, and he becomes a philosopher. He says to himself, out, deep candle, life is but a walking shadow, and so on so forth. Why does he say so? He states so, he says so because suffering becomes a teacher to him. Suffering makes him a great philosopher. It teaches him to be highly spiritual. Now Macbeth thinks that life is not significant, that life is unstable, that life is temporary, and it is full of foliage. Yes, Hamlet now perceives, now thinks that life is temporary, it is so short as a candle is. And in King Lear, we happily find that Lear also gains a spiritual wisdom through his own suffering. While suffering a lot upon the heath, particularly in company of some deserted persons, he says to himself, he talks to himself regarding his own status. Yes, what does he state? What does he say? May be known to you, may not be known to you. So, I'm going to quote a few lines uttered by him in the play. He says, I am more sinned than against sin. He further says, man is no better than a dog. Another sufferer in the tragedy, that's King Lear, also points out the important role played by the supernatural in the life of man. He asserts, he emphatically says that man is a puppet at the hands of destiny. Yes, he also becomes a spiritually wise, and that's why he says so. His statement is like this: just as flies are to the wanton wise, so are we to the gods. This is his statement. And this statement indicates the fact that man is a puppet at the hands of unseen forces. So, the role of the supernatural is quite obvious in the Shakespearean tragedies. And now I want to point out the fact that Shakespearean tragedy is characterized by the mixture of verse and prose. Shakespeare was interested in the writing of such plays as are both tragic and comic. No play by him is fully comic or fully tragic. Whether it is King Lear or Macbeth or Hamlet or Julius Caesar, everywhere we find a mixture of sorrow and happiness, tragedy and comedy. However, in a tragedy, the proportion of sorrow is much larger than that of happiness. And in a comedy, the proportion of happiness is much larger than that of sorrow. Yes, the mixture of sorrow and happiness in the Shakespearean tragedy is against the rule of plays. The rule commended by Aristotle and some other critics of Greece. Shakespeare violates the three unities, and about three unities we have knowledge of our own. And here I am not going to discuss the three unities in the ongoing session because everything cannot be included in the same session, discussed in the same session. Something has to be left out. And at last, but not least, Shakespeare tragedies show a fast movement. So a fast movement, particularly the movement of action. Yes, the fastness of action characterizes tragedy. If a person has to die, he must die in a short time because suffering, intense suffering, is always unbearable to man. This is the reason why Shakespeare makes his action very fast Thanks. In my next class, I will discuss Macbeth as a tragedy.